E3 2009 is in its final hours, but we could not get out of here without checking out Uncharted 2, and I am fortunate enough to be joined by Evan Wells, who is the man as far as Uncharted goes. How are you doing, dude? Are you hanging in there?
I'm hanging in there. Yeah. Thanks.
You have survived. We're almost done.
Almost done.
So you guys have been rolling Uncharted 2 out kind of in pieces over the last few months. Can you kind of set up where the story is at based on like what you've revealed now? Like who are the players and like what are they after?
Yeah, so we're finally starting to talk more about the story itself. It's Nathan Drake's new adventure. He's following the trail of Marco Polo throughout Southeast Asia. He's in search of the Chintamani stone. It's sort of the Buddhist holy grail, a wish-fulfilling jewel. He thinks it's a raw sapphire worth hundreds of millions of dollars, but he's got an opponent named Zoran Lazarevich, who's sort of this rogue paramilitary leader that most people think has been killed in a bombing raid, but he's definitely alive and well, and he's in hunt of that Chintamani stone too, and he thinks it actually has some more mystical value than just the monetary value. That's why he's after it.
Cool. So looking at this demo, like you guys are showing this big expansive Nepalese city, did you guys hire like 1 million level designers? I mean, there's just like a crazy amount of detail as far as you can see. I mean, how many man hours does it take to get the game looking that good?
Yeah, that particular vista took quite a few man hours. Our artists are nuts. They're insane. They work really hard, super talented, and our programmers, of course, are just adding more and more optimizations into the engine to allow them to go even crazier and put more detail into the environments. I mean, really, I think when I look back at the Uncharted 1 environments, it almost looks like kids played out to us. Because we've got this swamp environment that's kind of jungly, like the first Uncharted, but it just blows it away.
So the only thing that I really remember the first game taking any flack for was kind of the gunplay, the shooting combat. Like I remember specifically the enemies tended to soak up a whole lot of bullets before they went down. Have you guys rebalanced and tweaked that? How has the combat evolved in this one?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, we've added a whole new class system to our enemies. So we've got light enemies, which come in these gray uniforms, and they don't take very many bullets at all. They go down in just 2 or 3 shots, one to the head, obviously. And also, their melee, you can pretty much just pound on the square button, you'll take them down. And then we've got our dark uniformed guys. Those are our medium class. And those guys take a few more bullets, and if you try to melee them, they're going to counter your attack. And you have to hit this triangle button to dodge their counter so that you can finish them off. And then we have our highest class of enemy, which is our armor guy. And you can't melee him at all. If you do, he's just going to try to choke you out and throw you to the ground. You got to start shooting his armor off piece by piece, take his helmet off, try to get a headshot in, but he takes a lot of bullets. And then within those classes of enemies, all of them can have any kind of weapon, whether it's a grenade launcher, rocket launcher, Uzi, rifle. And then we also have shields. So some of these guys can also carry shields, which you can then, after you take them down, use against the enemy. So it's pretty cool.
You guys launched the multiplayer beta this week. I mean, I guess you're a bunch of masochists trying to get like a beta off the ground in the middle of E3, but can you tell, for the people who aren't lucky enough to have gotten into it yet, can you tell people what's going on in the beta?
Yeah, so we're offering up 2 different competitive multiplayer modes and 1 of our cooperative multiplayer modes. The competitive multiplayer modes are 5-on-5 team-based modes. So we got a straight-up deathmatch, and then we also have Uncharted's take on capture the flag. We call it plunder. There's treasure out on the map somewhere. You got to run out there and find it and pick it up. But you actually physically hold it in one of your hands, which reduces your weapon choice to just a pistol. And then you've got to defend yourself as you run back, lugging this heavy treasure, which kind of slows you down, makes you an easy target, back to your base so that you can put it in your treasure chest. But sometimes that treasure chest is not on flat ground because we've got this great traversal moveset that makes Uncharted very unique from other multiplayer games. Sometimes that treasure chest is up on 2nd and 3rd floors, and you actually have to throw the treasure that you're carrying up to those higher precipices. And then you have to either chase it yourself, or you have to start to work as a team, as a fire brigade, and actually get somebody up there to move it the next leg of the trek back to the chest. In the cooperative mode, we're showing what we're calling our objective-based mode. We take snippets of the single-player adventure, and then we completely redo the setups so that we got a brand new set of enemies that are facing you, and a light narrative that's just a new experience from the single-player campaign.
I have to ask while I have you here, just because you worked on the Jack games for so long, there's a new one coming out. You guys are not involved, I assume. Are you sort of overseeing, or?
It's being developed by High Impact, the guys who did all the Ratchet and Clank PSP games, so a really strong developer. They're showing us the build, we're checking out, we're trying to give feedback, but we're obviously super busy with Uncharted 2.
So since you spent so many years with Jack, I mean, I assume you've got some kind of special place for him. Does it Does it hurt you that somebody else is taking the reins? I mean, do you guys ever feel like you wish you could like see what that franchise could be on the PS3?
We'd love to get some time to do it on the PS3. Right now, we're one game at a time company, and we're full force is concentrated on Uncharted 2. But yeah, I mean, I would love to see what Jack would look like on the PS3. Yeah.
Very cool. All right, I'll keep that in mind. So, when are we going to see this one?
We're saying fall 2009 right now. We haven't announced a specific date, but I'm sure there'll be an announcement in the coming weeks.
All right, thanks, Evan. Appreciate your time.